What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Code Focus channel. Today what we're going to be doing is building this table component here with three different styling techniques. The first being regular CSS, the second being SCSS, which is a preprocessor, and then styled components, which allows us to write CSS within JavaScript. So yes, this is the same table, just built with three different styling techniques. So the way it's going to work is we'll build out the HTML first, and then we're going to style it with CSS, then we'll move into SCSS, and then we'll go into styled components. So the reason I'm making this video is because when I first started getting into styling with React and I found out about all these different techniques, I was kind of confused and I didn't know which one was best to use. It's really up to preference. There's pros and cons to each. So I just wanted to make this video to really bridge the gap for a lot of people into understanding like the differences and the workflows for each of these. So that's why we're making this, simple component here. And I'm just going to show you the workflow for each of these styling techniques, and hopefully that will help. Alright, so open up VS Code and go to the directory you want to work in, and open up the terminal and do npx create react app. Period. Alright, so while that's installing, I'll go over some extensions I'm using. I have Prettier installed, and that allows me to format my files when I save. I also have ESLint. It debugs on compile, or before compile, I guess. So you can see any errors you have in your code. Then I have rainbow brackets, or indent rainbow, and I also have rainbow brackets. Here it is. Actually, I don't think it's that one. Let's see. I think it's, this one. Or it must be this one. Alright. Alright, so that's basically it. And then my theme, if you're wondering, it's OneDark Pro, and my file icon theme, material icon theme. Okay, we're gonna let this finish installing. Oh, there it goes. So open up the source folder. This is where we will write all of our code. You can delete all of these files here that we don't need. You know what? Let's just delete the source folder. Jesus. And we will make an app.js and an index.js. And then in the index, go ahead and import React DOM from React DOM. And do React DOM.render app. Then we'll target the root element. Oh. There we go. Then we'll go into app and create a component here. So actually, this is another extension I should mention. It is snippets, I think. You know what? Let's just look in here. It's ES7 snippets. So this allows me to just write RAFCE tab, and it creates a new component. Alright, so now that we got this, we can import app. There we go. So let's start this up. Alright, this should leave us with a blank page. Awesome. Let's just test it out real quick. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start out with CSS. So we'll make an index.styles.css, and we're going to target everything and do box sizing, border box, and a margin of 0. Now, we're actually going to do this real quick. We're going to go to Google Fonts and grab Poppins. Oh, I already have it. So, grab the 400 and, well, not 300, but 400 and 600. And then you just go ahead and grab the import and throw it in your style sheet. Awesome. And then we'll grab this and we'll target body and we'll paste that. So now our document should have a font family of Poppins. And we're going to give this a letter spacing of 0.4 pixels. Okay. So now let's go and make a components folder within the source folder. And we'll start out with our CSS folder. So name it whatever you want, CSS table. And then create a table component within here. Again, do RIFCE to create a functional React component. And now we will make a style sheet within here as well. You know what? Then here, there we go. Styles.css. Alright, awesome. Now go to index and import /index.styles.css. This is how you import style sheets within React. You just import it like this. So this will import this file into index, therefore it will be accessible across our entire app. Therefore we can create some variables in here. So we'll do root, and that will make it so our variables are accessible everywhere. And we'll go ahead and make these. So we'll do our colors. I'm actually just going to copy and paste this stuff, and you can copy it. So there you go, there's the colors. And we'll do a border radius. And we'll do some spacing. And we'll do some sizes. And we'll do a nice box shadow. Now this is a layered box shadow. That's why there's so many things. Alright, now save that. And we'll go Jesus. And we'll go back to styles.css. Alright. Well, actually, we'll just import this for now, because we'll start with our HTML first. Okay. So make a table element, and within here we'll do thead, and within thead do tr, and then th. Now go below thead and do tbody. In there do th, or not th, but tr, and then td. And that's your basic structure for a table. We'll just test this out real quick. Oh, we forgot to import this in our app. So go back to app and just throw the table in there. Okay. There you go. Now, what we want to do is create some data to throw into this table. So, since we're going to have 3 different components for this table, or 3 different table components, we're going to go ahead into the app and create our array here and just send it in as props to each component. So I'm actually going to go ahead and copy and paste this data. It's just dummy data. It can be whatever you want it to be. Here I just have a name, email, age, and favorite food. So we're going to take this and throw it in our table component as props. Alright, so now if I go here and destructure, and then console.log data, you can see we have that array. Awesome. So now what we're going to do is populate our table with this data. So what I like to do is grab all the keys from the any of the objects within an array, and I'll take that and throw it in here and map over each item, and then I'll throw the th within that mapping, and we will render the item. So that's gonna get a name, email, age, and food. Awesome. And don't forget to give this a key. Each mapping has to have a unique key, so we'll grab that from the index. The second argument in a mapping is the index, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So it's a unique key we can use. Next, we're going to render the values. So we'll go down to t-body and we'll grab the data and we'll map it. Again, do this, throw the tr in here and the td, and now we're going to actually grab keys yet again, and we're going to map through it. And instead of doing brackets or parentheses, do curly brackets, so we can declare a variable in here. That variable will be value, and it will be equal to object, and then we'll throw the key in here. So we'll target the item, which is a key, because we're mapping through the keys. So we're targeting that key with an object. Now we'll return the td. So throw this up in here and render value. Alright, there we go. There's all our data. Again, do the keys, index, and I'm going to make this smaller so we have more room over here. There we go. Key is equal to index. Okay. So now we will give each of these elements a class. Since we're in React, we have to do class name, not just class. See, you don't necessarily have to give these classes. You could just target the elements, but it's good practice, in my book at least, to give everything a class name. Alright, so now that our classes are set up, we can go ahead and style everything. So go into style.css and target the table. Give it a width of 100%, a border collapse, and that will get rid of all the default borders within the table. Then we'll give it a text align of center, a border radius of we're actually going to use our variable. So to use variables within CSS, you do var dash dash border radius. And to make this clear, I'm just going to go into this folder here, and you can see within our root where we have border radius here, and that's where we're grabbing it from. Now we'll do overflow of hidden. All right. Next, target the T head. Do a position of sticky and a Z index of 100. What this will do is if say we had like a lot of data here, like that, enough that made the page scrollable, then when we scroll and the head would stay at the top of the page, so we'd always see that the T head, it wouldn't disappear. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Now we'll target tr head and give it a background of one of our variables. There we go. And we'll target th. Give it a font weight of normal, because by default they're bolded. And give it a padding of var small spacing. Then give it a color, var text, a text transform of capitalize, boom. Now we're gonna give it a font weight again of 600. You could get rid of this font weight if you want by like having it there, just so it's clear that we set it back from default, and then we're redoing it here. You know what? Just remove it. I don't want to cause confusion. There we go. And font size 14 pixels. Awesome. Okay, so now we'll move on to tr body. We're skipping over T body because we don't need to apply any styles to that. Give this a background of white. And next we'll target TD and give this a padding of var small spacing, a border of 1px solid var background 2. Alright, and a font size of 14 pixels. Alright, that's looking good so far. So what we're going to do, if you remember, we had this centered in the page with some other styles. And the way I did that was by having I had a parent component that wrapped this and gave it a max width. So what we're going to do is make that parent container here. Well, first we'll target it and give it some styles. So go into, our global styles here and do table container and give it a padding of var small spacing, a background of var background 2, border radius of var border radius, and a box shadow of var box shadow. So yeah, having variables makes things a lot easier, and if we want to change something like a color, all we have to do is go into the root and change it in one place, and wherever we have that within our CSS, it'll change. It'll go ahead and change everywhere. It's awesome. Alright, so now we're going to take this table container class and apply it to a div. that div will wrap this table. Just go into app and wrap this table with a div. Give it a class. Give it a class name of table container. All right, awesome. Looks good. Looks good. And we're actually, for now, we're just gonna give this a margin top of 200 pixels. There we go. Oh, and a max width. How could I forget? And also to center, we'll do margin auto, or margin 0 auto. There we go. Alright, so that's the first one done. Believe it or not, that's it. So now we're going to move on to SCSS. So go into components and create a new folder called SCSS table. And create a table component yet again, RAFCE. Then we'll create, you know what? We're actually going to have to install a dependency to use node-sass, or to use Sass. npm install node-sass. So what this will do is allow us to, compile our SCSS into regular CSS so the browser can read it. Alright, so go back into SCSS table here and create a table.module.scss. Then we'll create a variables folder. We could very well, rename this to SCSS, variables SCSS. We could very well use these variables within our SCSS, but I want to show you guys how to declare and use SCSS variables, so that's why I'm doing this. So go ahead and just copy and paste the variables we had before, and then just change them so they have $signs in front of the names. Okay. Now go in the table and import those variables. Okay. Then go into our table component and import classes from /table.module.scss. Okay. So what we're going to do is, first of all, take out this table here. We're going to rename this to CSS table. Then we're going to import our other table, our SCSS table, and we'll render this instead of our CSS table. Again, throw in data as props. Okay, boom, perfect. Now, grab data, and we're gonna do the same thing we did. The same HTML structure here. So just grab everything within our CSS table and throw it into this. Boom. So it's the same thing. It's grabbing our styles from our other style CSS file, but now we're just gonna convert this into SCSS. So classes. So to target things within this table.module.scss file, what we need to do is target classes and then put the name of, this. Put that name after classes. Okay. Now we'll do this for everything. Classes dot thead. Classes dot tr head. Classes dot th. Classes dot t body. Classes dot tr body. And finally, classes dot td. Okay. Now we'll apply the styles. So we're actually just going to open this up over here and pretty much copy and paste stuff, because I'm not gonna rewrite all this. That would be boring for you guys. So yeah, it's the same way of styling. It's just CSS, but instead of, for example, instead of using var here for a variable, all we have to do is $, border radius, and yeah, we'll get that variable. Alright, so another thing that's awesome with SCSS is that you can nest your styles. So instead of having to go outside the scope of this table to apply thead styles, we can just go within table. Give this a position of sticky and a z index of 100, and then again we can nest this. So nest tr head within t head, and just copy and paste this. Again, get rid of the var and do a $. Okay, so it's coming together, and then we're gonna nest yet again. I'm actually gonna move this a bit over. There we go. Do th, copy and paste. Do text and small spacing. Great. Now go below t head and do tr body. I'll just leave a little comment here that says no styles. And within tr body, we're going to do, oh wait, you know what? T body. That's what we want to do. Okay, if I could type. And then tr body within there. Give that a background of white. And a td. Alright guys, there you go. That's how you convert everything from CSS to SCSS. Alright, and I actually do want to show you how you can use pseudo elements within SCSS. So what we're gonna do is give these the THs, we're gonna give them borders just on everyone except the last child will have a border right. So the only way we can do that is with pseudo elements. So to use pseudo elements, you just put an @ sign and then apply the pseudo. So do not last child or not last of type, and then we put the styles in here. So we'll do border right 1px solid background 2. And if we look closely, you can see that got applied. I'll just put red here so you can see it. Boom. Alright, now we're going to we're gonna go back to table and we're gonna do something kind of cool. Since in my example earlier I had indexes, so it went like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna do that now. So put keys within an array and do dot dot dot. So it destructures the keys array into this array. And now before that, we'll do a pound sign. Alright, so that's gonna add a pound sign to our headers. And to account for this within our data or within our t-body, we have to add another td for each row. td. And give this a, within the td, render index plus 1. And there, that should work, but remember we have to give these the same class name as this. Awesome. So there's the indexes. Now a little trick you can do, if you don't want these to be as wide as they are, you want them to kind of fit the content, you can target that td or th, you can target either one, and give it a width of 1% and a white space of no wrap. So that's going to make it so the TDs and the TH only fit the content. And yeah. To give you a better example, we can target int of type, target email. So you can see it's fitting the content here. Alright. So now we're going to move on to styled components. So create yet another folder in here and name it styled components table. Alright, so there's a bit more setup involved for using styled components, but it's not complicated. I'll walk you through it all and we'll get it going. So again, we're going to comment this out in the app. We'll import SC table. SC is short for style components. And then we'll render this. Alright. Awesome. So go back to table, and in this folder, create a styles.js file, a theme.js, and a variables.js. I know it's a lot, but these two, theme and variables, would usually be in a folder out here. You know, that's like for, because you're going to use these two files across the entire app. But since I'm just showing you one component, I'm just going to throw it in this folder. But yeah. So again, we're going to need to install something to make this work. So do npm install styled components. Alright, great. So go into styles. Actually, no, we're going to start off with making our variables. So what we can do is go here and just copy and paste all of these. Except this time, it's going to be JavaScript. So we can do export const v as in variables and paste all of these. Now we have to change these up a little bit because this is an object. So we'll get rid of the dollar signs, like so, and there. And we also have to get rid of the semicolons and replace them with commas. So we can do that like that. And wrap everything with quotes. This is a bit tedious. I'll probably fast forward to this part in the video. Alright, so now what we also have to do is camel case everything. Alright, that should be good. Now go into our theme and create or export another variable called light theme. And take all our colors here and throw that into there. Great. Now what we'll do is import styled from styled components in our styles folder, and we can import these variables in here as well, like so. Now when we're making styled components, all you have to do is go into your styles file and do export const and then name the variable anything you want. I like to start out my variables with a big S to stand for styles, and then since this will be the table component, we'll do table, so S table, and then we've got to do equals styled dot and then whatever you want the element to be. So you know, it can be a table, it can be a div, it can be a span, it can be anything. Since we want a table, we'll do table, and right after that you have to put these things. They're not quotes, I forget what they're called, ampersands I think. You put those, and then within here you can write any CSS you want, though I think there is an extension that you have to install called styled components. Yeah, VS Code styled components, that will allow, it's basically a visual thing. Like if you didn't have it installed, anything you type in here would be like green or something. It wouldn't be the right color. Alright, so give this a width 100%. And before this, to use our variables, all we have to do is target the V. Actually, I'll show you that later. First, we're just going to set up our HTML. So go ahead and copy and paste from our SCSS table. Alright, again we're just gonna refactor everything in here for styled components. So to use a style component, that's all you have to do. You just go and make an element out of it in your React component and import it from the styles folder, and that is usable now. So if we save this, I'll show you how it works later, but for now we're just going to create all these elements here. So sthead, str, I'm gonna name that tr head. I think, no, we're gonna name it sthead tr, and then we're going to rename this to sth, and then this st body, str, std, and sttd. All right. Okay, so as you can see, we don't have these created, so we have to go into our styles and create all of them. So we do export const. Just open this up on the side so we can see. export const st head is equal to style dot t head. Okay. Export const st head tr is equal to style dot tr. Export const sth is equal to style dot th. Export const st body is equal to style dot t body. Export const str, or you know what? We forgot. We actually have to go back here and do st body tr. That's how we'll name it. And that's equal to style dot tr. And then export const std is equal to style dot td. Alright, so now that we got all this created, we can import them into this file. So what you like to do is just go to each one and remove the last character, then redo it, and you can import it easily like that. Alright, then we have to grab data through props, and there we go. There's our table, all laid out with styled components. Just to show you it works before we start styling, give this a background of red. Boom. Okay, so now, before we start styling though, again, we have to do something. We'll go to app, and we will import something from styled components. This something is called a theme provider. Alright. So we're going to wrap everything with this theme provider. And we're going to give this a property of theme. And we'll make that equal to our theme object here. Remember in our theme file, we made this light theme. We're going to put that in here, import it. And now we can use this theme. We can use all these styles within our styled components anywhere across the app. So let's close a couple files here. We'll make this smaller. Now we can, I closed styles on accident. Alright, now we can start styling. So go to table, do border, collapse, text align, center, border radius, and to target a variable, all you have to do is do $, curly brackets, v dot, since we're accessing the v object, and then whatever variable you want. And there we go. There's a variable in use. Again, do overflow hidden. Alright, now on to t head. Position sticky, z index 100. You gotta be careful. Style components does this weird buggy stuff sometimes. It'll like duplicate characters. Alright. Now we'll do background. And alright, now here we're going to use one of our colors from our theme. So to access that, you do the same thing for a variable, except you do parentheses, then another curly brackets to destructure, and grab theme, then go over twice and do an arrow function. So this is an arrow function that's accessing theme, and you do theme dot whatever color you want. So do theme dot background, and there you go. You can see it applied that background. Now we'll go to th, And I'm just gonna copy and paste. Alright. And to use pseudo elements within style components, all you have to do, remember with SCSS we did whatever that is, an and sign. All we have to do here is straight up just do this pseudo element tagging stuff. One px solid theme dot background 2. All right, now we'll do first of type, and we'll do width of 1% and white space, no wrap. Awesome. Now go down to T body. No styles needed for that. T body TR needs a background, so again access the theme here and do theme dot white. And last but not least, we'll do std and padding v dot small spacing and border 1px solid theme dot background 2. There it is, and then font size of 14 pixels. All right, there's our final table, all done. So yeah, that's it pretty much. Now we'll go back in the app real quick and show you all these side by side. Could I stack these maybe? Yeah, there we go. They're all stacked here, and they're all the same, except we use totally different styling techniques for each one. I hope this video helped you. It took a while for me to create, so a like would be appreciated. Thank you so much. Have a great day.